Well, that escalated quickly. What's up guys, Dr. Coaster here on behalf of the Georgia Coaster Connection, and welcome back to another ArieForce One Construction Update. Before we get started, I just want everyone to know that all photos and footage included in this video are free to use with credit. I want everyone to be able to share this and cover ArieForce One together. I'd also like to thank my Georgia Coaster Connection partner Christopher as we gathered this content together. I'll link his pages down below. The week of March 6th to March 12th was a big one for FunSpot Atlanta and the process of constructing ArieForce One. As you are seeing on screen, the park received more shipments from RMC within this past week. More red and blue track has arrived on site, and the construction crews continued to assemble the support structure behind the parking lot. This area served as a sort of staging area for RMC before moving the pieces to their designated part of the layout, as you'll see later. After checking out the state of what was going on here, I moved on to check out the progress of the lift hill to see what was going on there. Upon arriving to the park, it was pretty clear that some huge progress had been made here, as this section of the ride runs along the entrance to the park. Since going vertical, RMC was continuing to assemble ArieForce One nearby before dropping it into place like they have been over the course of the last couple of weeks. I managed to get a ride on the Ferris wheel while RMC was working on the ride to get these great shots. As previously mentioned, the support structure that you're seeing here is that of the lift hill and the 0G stall. At the moment, the structure stands at probably about 75 to 80 feet tall, maybe taller, and will be a whopping 154 feet once it's completed. While we haven't seen it yet, I'd imagine supports for the Raven Truss dive should be popping up in the very near future, as the RMC crew was also fast at work on the concrete footers for that portion of the ride as well. Other things to expect in the near future will likely be topping off of the lift hill and stall, and seeing the first few pieces of track be dropped into place. Moving on from the first out and back portion of the ride, I checked out the middle and the ending of the ride, where you'll be seeing the airtime hills and the quad down. But there's nothing to note as of now besides the markings that have been there since the beginning. The supports, however, are built, but they're just lying and waiting for the ground to be ready for them. When we start to see movement in the area of the old miniature golf course, we'll know it's go time. A lot of those slabs are still in place as of right now, and I'd imagine at least some of them will need to be removed in order to build that portion of the ride. Following my investigation of that part of the layout, I headed back to the back of the park to look at the progress being made after the ride passes over the arcade. And unlike the middle of ArieForce One's layout, there's some new developments here. In my last construction update on ArieForce One, I said I wouldn't be surprised if this was the last part that we see construction at. Well, I was totally wrong. At the same time that RMC has been hard at work building the lift hill and the stall, they have now also started construction behind the arcade. Right now as it sits, only digging for the footers has begun, which is also a sign that construction is about to accelerate on multiple fronts, moving beyond just the start of the ride. As always, this visit to the park was just an incredibly pleasant experience. The staff is always super polite and thrilled to discuss the construction process with you. While no opening date has been announced just yet, the park is sticking to the summer of 2022, and I have no reason to doubt that seeing the progress that they've been making lately. Management has been really impressed with the efficiency that RMC is working with, just as we all have. So that's definitely a good sign. Thank you all for watching. That was the second of many ArieForce One construction updates to come. If you don't want to miss out on future ArieForce One construction updates, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, as many more of these will be coming, leading up to the opening of the ride. If you haven't already, then also be sure to follow Georgia Coaster Connection over on Instagram, your home for all things ArieForce One. If you're feeling inclined, go ahead and follow me as well at Dr_Coaster. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.